All right, let's get this going.
He just said,
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing today, sir?
Oh, excuse me 1 second.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, how you doing? You hear me?
On the phone.
Hey, yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, brother
You hear
Bernard. How
me?
you doing? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay,
man.
yeah.
Just getting in the
I'm
house.
doing fine.
Just getting in the house. Rainy day from. I guess we're getting the weather from Delta or whatever. But I'm just getting back in the house. So I think let me give you a call. I mean, a text and let's do this.
Yeah. Well, it's a
Um, how's the weather there in New
pleasure to
Orleans
be here.
first, though? How's the weather in New Orleans?
It's actually a very clear day.
Okay.
Very nice day.
So everything breezed over?
Yeah, it's not bad right now.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I see what you tagged me in last night. That was pretty interesting, actually.
I I forgot what I actually tagged you in. What did I tag you in on?
The white boys, who the Michigan thing, they
Brother
trying to,
Bernard,
yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. You hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Yo, I can hear you. Hold on. Let me go out and come back in. Let me go out. Can you hear me? Hello? Is that better? All right. Is that
Yeah.
better? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe it might be the boys again messing with me again. I don't know. But yeah, the thing about the guys who ran in the governor's house, you were saying who are the real savages or something like that.
Hello?
The post, the post you sent me, you tagged me in the post last night. I can go back and pull it up, but let me go back and pull it up right quick. You might not be remember what you sent me.
Brother Bernard, can you hear me? I can't hear,
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
can't hear you though. Is your mic on?
Yeah, it's on. The guests say they can hear me. Hold on. Can you hear me? Is that better? Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Gavin?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Okay, now I was saying the weather in what is it? New Orleans. That's
New
good.
Orleans?
Yeah.
that's good.
So that's good that we didn't have
But it's
another
not
Katrina.
raining or anything right now. It's actually sunny right now. Partly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm looking for the
Yeah,
post you
it's sunny
tagged
right
me in.
now.
Let's see what you tagged me in. You tagged me in the post. Where are the wild beasts?
Well, that was okay. Well, that was a podcast that I did, Where the Wild Beasts Are. That was for my podcast on Anchor. Gavin Reshaw
Okay.
presents.
Yeah.
That I had tagged you in, and I tweeted out, and I've actually gotten a lot of people that have retweeted it, liked it, and it's gotten over almost close to 50 hits, if I haven't mistaken. So.
Okay. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I mean, it's good. It was a good title and good analysis. What do you think about the situation that happened in Michigan last week?
Well, actually, that's what the podcast was about the militia group that tried to kidnap the governor. I thought that was it's a sign of the times that we live in. People are
That's
frustrated. I think, yeah, well, a lot of them are frustrated. But what was interesting too that I saw with that is that the sheriff basically in that area, he actually was trying to um, make those guys, at least a couple of them that he knew of, seem not to be
Yep.
out as bad guys, talking about how nice they were and all of this stuff. So I could tell automatically that from that, that's not something black people get, any type of treatment we get. And, it's not a black person that did that, because if they did, they would have plastered their mug shots all over the news. So I was able to get that one from Where the Wild Beasts Are from that episode art. Brother Professor Black Truth actually was talking about that. The Jason Black from the Black
Yep.
Authority, not the Black Truth, excuse me, was actually talking about it. So,
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good because I was gonna say that I knew that's what the topic was about. That's why I would tell you. That's why I said it was a good analysis on it. And you're right; it's a sign of the times. But also, this is just the hell is boiling over. This is gonna happen a lot more. I mean, after the election or before the election. You might even have it before the election too. So, I mean, you just saw in Wisconsin yesterday they had the thing with the Antifa guys and Black Lives Matter was out there throwing the bricks in people's windows and stuff. It just happened like the other night. So you're gonna have more instances like this.
well,
so,
yeah, that was right, and that was an issue that I raised in the podcast. Is that when you see the protesters that are out there, the people that are protesting, it is not black people that are the majority out there. You're seeing white kids looking like they've just got out of spring break. They're bringing protest signs. They got Black Trans Matter. They got LGBTQ flags and so forth. All kinds of stuff. Of course, they got Black Lives Matter flag, but we know Black Lives Matter from their mantra, which they actually scrubbed off of their website, that they are not about strong heterosexual black men or pro-black family. They got caught taking that stuff down, and it got exposed for what they truly were.
yes.
So, yeah.
As a matter of fact, yesterday was National Coming Out Day, and I had been posting articles. I just was going down the timeline and just posting articles because it's National Coming Out Day, and Kamala Harris had tweeted, "It's National Coming Out Day. We must show respect for the LGBT." All the nonsense they keep pushing. Transgenderism, LGBT, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. But
Joe
then
Biden
I
has stated that's their number one priority when they get in office. He stated
guess
that's
what?
his number one priority. Yeah.
So as a black man, that tell you that look, man, that's your number one priority. My number one priority is not to vote for you. Shit, that's what it tells me.
Pretty much.
That's because that is beyond the pale, right there. They say black men.
But we have
black people.
we have an issue. Right. Well, the main issue, especially what I see with the election coming up, because it's only about less than really 4 weeks away, is that they really are pushing right now for black males to get out to vote. And Joe Biden, he a couple months ago he talked about how he had the black vote and so forth. But Yahoo News did an article talking about how black men my age, are not interested in Joe Biden, are not interested in this election because he's not an exciting candidate. He's almost 80 years old. He's actually been in politics longer than Donald Trump by 47 years. In his 47 years in office, he's actually ran for president multiple times from the 80s and 90s. And even when Obama ran for president, he was a candidate. He never secured any nomination until recently. And that was mainly because they had nobody else out there. They didn't want Bernie Sanders back in 2016, who I think could have beaten Donald Trump, because Trump actually has a lot of flaws that could be exposed. But Hillary Clinton was not a great candidate. And remember, even in that election, she took this whole thing for granted. She refused to campaign in certain states like Michigan and Wisconsin. And if I'm not mistaken, those went to Donald Trump. I'm seeing now, I look at the polls, they have Biden ahead and so forth. CNN puts their poll up, but CNN has always been about pushing propaganda and BS. Joe Biden is not ahead, like talking about it with Donald Trump, because it's actually a very close election.
He's not ahead at all. He's not ahead at all. As a matter of fact, because I just sent you an article today where they just predicting Trump to win a landslide. But then I tried to send you another article which said they showed a rally in Pennsylvania where Joe Biden only had 12 to 20 people there, right? I think it says, it'll say holy hell, but right. I couldn't send it because they won't let me send it through Messenger. They say it's abusive content. They ain't talking about but nothing but Joe Biden ain't got 12 to 20 people. They Facebook flagged it and said it's abusive content. I can't even post it.
Oh, really?
So,
well,
yeah.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Facebook, YouTube, and other social media networks and platforms, they are well into pushing, a Democratic agenda. That's not to say that there aren't platforms that don't push Republican and conservative agendas. There are plenty, but they clearly do not want to push anything that would cost Joe Biden this election, or any information that would go out there that would be bad for him. That's just like what they did. I think recently, I've seen the debate debacle that they had. It looked like Biden was even wearing a wire, if I'm not mistaken, during the debate. Willie D was even talking about it. It's also sort of like how, even on Facebook, if you say something negative against Joe Biden, like I tweeted when I put on Facebook that when he picked Kamala Harris, I said it's going to be another 4 years, and I had Negroes that were upset with me for saying that. Like, what has this guy actually done and promised you? Yeah, why you say that? You being negative? Shut up! Don't do that. Like, as if I'm not entitled to my damn opinion. It's like, what do you expect? Why do you think the president, if any president is going to make your life better? They're not. Barack Obama couldn't even make your life better. Barack Obama was president for 8 years. And yeah.
As a matter of fact, not only couldn't he make it better, he made it worse. Actually, you lost 53% of your net worth when Obama was in office. They actually made it worse.
Well, I look at it this way. He had an opportunity. We talk about the fact that Trump is stacking up the Supreme Court. That's what a president does. They stack him up with people that reflect them, that reflect their ideologies. Barack Obama picked Helen Keegan, and Sonia Sotomayor. And the last person he tried to pick, I can't think, his name escapes me, but it didn't go through because they had the same situation here. Kennedy resigned, so he was replacing him with another judge, but that judge had picked.
Kagan. Her name was Kagan.
No, not Kagan. Kagan is on the Supreme Court.
That's
not her. I'm talking about when Kennedy resigned. Who?
Was it Sotomayor?
No,
Sotomayor
Brother
or
Bernard. They're already on the bench.
Huh?
Sotomayor and Elena Kagan are already on the bench. When Anthony Kennedy resigned, Barack Obama tried to nominate another justice, and Gorsuch ended up taking that spot.
The guy name was Merrick Garland, but it was Scalia.
Kennedy, yeah.
It was Scalia who
Scalia
died.
was already.
No, he died. Scalia died.
Scalia died while he was on the Supreme Court. Yeah, he died.
Yeah,
and
Obama tried to elect Garland. He tried to get Garland, but it wasn't confirmed.
Garland is who his name is. Garland is the one that I was talking about, but they didn't get right. But they weren't able to get him.
Yep, that's right.
And then you got Neil Gorsuch that came in.
Yep.
Gorsuch came in.
Okay.
Right. Yep. So the point that I'm trying to get at is that during that time that he was in office, he could have put we needed somebody to offset Clarence Thomas.
Thank you.
We needed somebody to offset Clarence Thomas. We needed another black chief justice, associate justice that actually was going to represent the people, that actually was going to do something. Like Thurgood Marshall, he was about judicial advocacy. So you look at this, even though you look at the Supreme Court in general, the Supreme Court has always been hostile towards black people. He still had an opportunity to put a black man on a Supreme Court. Hell, even a black woman, he refused to do that. He didn't do that. There were plenty, the people that he appointed in lifetime positions. You look at Elena Kagan. You look at Sonia Sotomayor. My understanding with Kagan is that even back when she was over at Harvard, she kept the United States Army off of the premises at Harvard because of their stance on LGBTQ. Because at that time, when she was obviously on the Harvard Law Review, and she was there, that's when they still had the don't ask, don't tell policy, or I think she's much older before, even before that, they didn't allow gays in the military, period. And
she's LGBT.
And she kept them off. And don't you notice that, well, she's not married. She's not married to Sonia Sotomayor.
In Goldman Sachs.
She probably is. Both of them. Well, yeah, well, I don't doubt they're connected with that, but they're all Harvard graduates. And I've noticed that with the Supreme Courts, all of the justices, at least most of them, have all come from the Ivy League.
That's right. Harvard, yeah.
Thurgood Marshall was the only one I know of that didn't. Yeah, Thurgood came from Howard.
That's right. Who else do we have? Now this new judge here trying to confirm today is she didn't come from Harvard Yale either.
Amy
Tony Barrett, yes.
No, Colbert. No, she Barrett. She's actually from Louisiana. She's from New Orleans. She went to Notre Dame Law School.
That's right.
She went to Notre Dame Law School, and she's she is a conservative. Now, you worry, obviously, when you have conservatives on the bench, you worry. What they really are nervous about is whether or not she could overturn Roe v. Wade. That's really what it all boils down to. You notice they don't talk about what her issues are on affirmative action, on race, although black people really don't benefit from affirmative action right now. Affirmative action actually benefits people that look like Amy Barrett.
I just posted it today on Facebook, as a matter of fact, that black people don't benefit from affirmative action programs, so you might well get rid of it in some instances anyway. I say build your own schools, education, and everything else, and make it just, the same way they box you out, just box them out, or make it black. Look, I got a policy, man. If you make it black owned and black business founded, you ain't gonna have too many whites coming in your place, no way. That's just a fact. I mean, they're not gonna come where they're not welcome, or they feel like you got too much. I had a situation down here. Got some friends, right? In Nation of Islam, and they wanted to put the final call in the restaurant, right? And they were told by the restaurant that, hey, look, we can put that in there, but we don't want to alienate our white customers, so we don't want y'all to put this paper in there. So it's kind of like some black businesses try to cater to white audiences too, because they want to make sure they get white business too, or they want to be too inclusive. But I just say, hey, look, do like the Jews do up in New York and all these other places. If you just make it Jewish owned, ain't too many people coming to them. I mean, it's up their own. So that's the reason I have a problem with Chinese and Pakistan people, because they shop with their own, but you don't need to shop with them. You need to shop with your own people. So that's why I have such a problem with that affirmative action thing, because that's basically making them hire you. I mean, fine if some people get some jobs, but maybe they should hire you more on merit than just because I got to do a program. Because then to me, that means that, they're picking, like, even what's this guy named Daniel Cameron? Donald Trump had him as a Supreme Court nominee, but I mean,
yeah,
to be honest,
Daniel Cameron is the AG.
Yeah, that would have been
Well, the only reason
political
why
suicide.
Trump,
Really,
right? Well, there was no way he wasn't going to pick him. He wasn't going to pick him. That was just a thank you note, because he didn't want to prosecute those cops that killed Breonna Taylor. And more and more it's coming out that he lied. He didn't even try to pursue criminal charges against those officers. Homicide was never an option with him. But now I'm looking at that case, and you're hearing different stories about it, from the bullet that was actually pulled out of that officer. There's questions about whether it was a 9mm, the gun from that was used by Mr. Walker or not. You're also talking about the witness who supposedly heard, which is crock, because I don't see how one person heard police announce themselves, but 12 others didn't. That didn't even make sense.
That's right.
And he went along with that. That didn't even make any sense. And they got the other aspect of it too, they lied on the affidavit. The federal judge who granted the warrant, she even said she was disturbed by it, but she said she's letting the feds look into it. These cops need to be prosecuted for perjury. That cop who signed it, because if he lied about it, his lie is the reason why this woman is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Cameron wasn't. I know I got off, but Cameron was not going to be a Supreme Court nominee. That was just a feel-good thing and a thank you to Mitch McConnell. That's all that was, because that's Mitch McConnell's grandson-in-law, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But I mean, I look at it like this. Even in that case, I look at it like, shoot, just the thought of him nominating or bringing a black man to that's better than Obama did in some cases. So I mean, you even need to throw a little rabbit out the hat, right? But
he wasn't going to be nominated. That was just he was a token.
Oh yeah, well that's what I said. But that's what I'm about to preface to. Even if you did get a black person to the Supreme Court, he probably would be a token. Now I'd have to look up Daniel Cameron's.
More than what Barack did.
Yeah. I would have to look up Daniel Cameron.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I'm not concerned. I'm just telling you that it's more than what Barack did. So I mean, he even promised Dorothy Height, who was a prominent civil rights activist, and he actually promised her before she died, "I'm gonna put a black woman on the Supreme Court." He never did it.
No, he didn't. I remember that. He never did. But the thing is this: the man was never for us to begin with. He made that evident when they had the beer summit with Henry Louis Gates and that police officer that arrested him for breaking in his own house, and Obama called the officer stupid. Right? He said he acted stupidly. Then a week later, the police union, I think on the college campus, the college campus police department superintendent or chief called out Barack Obama, and the next week we see them having a beer summit. Right then and there, I knew it was going downhill, because when have you ever seen a police chief call out the president and the president make peace with them? Any president. Trump gets called out by mayors all the time, governors all the time. That governor we just talked about, She's blaming him for this militia attempting to kidnap her. She accused him of fanning the flames, of fanning that rhetoric. But he still keep talking his shit because he don't care what you think
That's right.
about him.
Well, let me say something about that, Gavin. You know why? You know what I like about that? And that's why I tell people, I don't like Trump. I don't like Trump, but I do respect him though, because hey, he's staying on the courage of his convictions. Obama would not do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's what you see is what you get.
That's right. That's why
I can, yeah, like, but and here's another thing too. When people say they won't vote for Trump because he's a racist, those are the same people that go to work every day, work a 9 to 5, and have a boss that behind their back call them a nigga, or a coworker that talks shit about them.
That's right.
What's wrong with you? You not go vote. You work for a racist. If you work, you complain about him being racist, but do you go to work with racist people? Why you work there? Well, I need to make money. Well, there you go. Well, you're not really that. You don't care about your pride. I tell people look, people got to do what they got to do to survive, man. But I'm interested right now. Like I've learned, the key to really trying to fight this thing we got to build our economic game up. We got to create jobs. I talk about it on the Judge Joe Brown show that it's time for us to look at what businesses we could create. Like I have a spice company that I'm creating, a seasoning company that's in the works. I got a music publishing company that I'm doing. I write books. I do podcasts. I'm doing everything I can to support myself. So, my podcast, by the way, is Gavin Reshaw Presents on Anchor. You guys can support. Yeah. Y'all can support me, by the way, if y'all want to do that.
What's the name of that? We say Spice Company?
Well, it's in the works. Company, right? Yeah.
Okay. When you finish with it, write it. When you finish with it, you send me a
you want a sample?
Well, I mean, I just want to know the name of it so I can write it down on my paper.
It's in the works, but it's called Nani's Creole Seasoning.
Creole.
It's not. We don't have our website up yet. Yeah, but Nani's NONI apostrophe S. Yeah.
Okay. Well, well, when you put the website up, I'll put it on my page anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna have all of that done before the end of the year. We're gonna have all of that done. We're gonna have a website. We're gonna have. We're working on all of that stuff right now. We got our labels we're developing, and hopefully we'll be in stores by I'm gonna say at least either by the end of the year or the start of the new year.
Okay. Now let me say something about that, and that's because I want to bring something to you. I'm pretty sure well, you've been seeing the pictures, so I was in Memphis, Tennessee, right?
Yeah, so, I saw it.
Okay, so last week, there was a National Civil Rights Museum I was at, and I posted a video, and this paper right here talks about how we dishonor Martin Luther King's legacy. I don't know if you can see that. You see that? Right there.
Mm-hmm. How we dishonor Dr. King's
legacy. So there was a lady out there, and she is the last person to be a resident of the hotel. You can look it up on National Civil Rights Museum. But what really concerned me more was that the museum is owned by Jews, communists. It's a picture right here, a post. Denny's paid out $46 million in racial lawsuits. Now they're contributing $1 million to glorify Dr. King's death. So I think Denny's even has a stake in this civil rights museum. She says boycott Denny's and boycott the Civil Rights Museum as well. She's saying that basically that Martin Luther King was killed, and I saw the flop house and stuff, but they'll make you wear a mask. Do they go past a certain part outside? My friend, she tried to go past a certain part. They told her you can't go past this part without a mask. They had some exhibits out there, but they charge you, I think, $13, $16 to go in the museum. I mean, this is the motel where he was killed. And I mean, it's in a free landmark. But what concerned me more was for every
I've been there.
Okay, for every 3 white people I saw one black person. So this is supposed to be Martin Luther King's leg, and we honest it. It's got what I call a barbecue place across the street. It's got apartments they're building and white businesses around there. So in all honesty, this ain't nothing but a show for white folks to go look at. This ain't really for the people. So some people talk about boycott, and I put on that boycott because it's controlled by the Jews, Zionists, and the communists. That's what I put on my Facebook Live about that place. So yeah, I would just say that once again, even with the movement like Black Lives Matter or whatever, all they do is just they'll come out with it, but they'll undercut it and they make it their own. I mean, because Black Lives Matter is actually what they call a carbon copy of Occupy Wall Street. If you look at it's a video I can send you where they do Occupy Wall Street, and then Trayvon Martin video, a good friend of mine, Paul, he put that out, and he exposed the Occupy Wall Street signs. And Occupy Wall Street is no more than Black Lives Matter with it, because they actually had
I remember Occupy. Right, I remember Occupy Wall Street back. It was almost 10 years ago when they got started, like 2011, 2012, because that was the height of America was still in a recession at that time, and we were having issues. People were losing their pensions and people were losing their homes and everything that they were dealing with. I remember that. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe you get from Black Lives Matter, or a little bit worse. But we got to beware too. And part of the reason why I'm not even marching so much anymore, because I've been out there with the protesters before, is that there are agent provocateurs.
That's right.
That are within many of those groups. Judge Joe Brown would call them informants, like he talked about back in the 60s with the stuff he dealt with when he was on UCLA's campus. We saw the video after the George Floyd protest, the George Floyd murder that we saw, where the white boy was wearing a motorcycle helmet and was busting out the windows at the AutoZone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was right. A cop, and I think it came out that he was a cop.
That's right.
He was a cop, or he was an informant with the police. So they like to start and instigate stuff. So, and then sometimes when I go to these rallies, when, like I told you, I see those signs and so forth, but you never hear what the end result is. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Even when they met with Hillary Clinton, if you remember when Hillary was running for president and she met with some of these protesters inside this, I think it was a large hall, if I'm not mistaken. And she was talking, she was asking them, what did y'all want? And they couldn't even give her an answer.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
we got to be concise about what we want.
As a matter of fact, they had an agenda. There was a memo that came out in 2016 before the election. It was exposed on WikiLeaks when they said, when they ask you a question, be direct. Don't be direct with them. Tell them something, but promise them nothing. This came out with Black Lives Matter before the election. That was in 2016. They got an email. I think it was on WikiLeaks or whatever. But that's just the con game. Black Lives Matter.
I remember that.
I wouldn't even look. Like I tell people, I got some people, they be wearing these Black Lives Matter shirts. I told a guy straight up, I would not watch I would not buy a Black Lives Matter shirt, because I know that it's going to act blue, and everything you donate to them is going straight to the Democratic Party. And matter of fact, come to think about it, now that I think about it, that woman that was on that show would Get Your Booty to the Pole, Black Lives Matter gave her some money too. You can bet you believe they gave her some money to do that pull that Get Your Booty to the Pole. What? You hear me?
The name of the woman was Angela Gomez. Yeah, I can hear you. Angela Davis Gomez, I think was her name.
Angela Barnes Gomez.
Yeah, well, Angela Barnes Gomez. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, well, the other whole thing with that is that she even said on the podcast, the show with Judge Joe Brown, she was nonpartisan. I mean, she said she was partisan, but not the video. The video supposedly was nonpartisan, but she said she wasn't. And you could tell from how it looked. You know, when people tell you something I've learned, especially in my short life, when it comes to voting, because my third eye has always been open with this stuff, is that when they want you to go out to vote, when you have the ads that are played on R&B radio, you know, about the scary Republican that's going to become governor if you don't go out to vote, the stuff that they do. They want you to vote Democrat. It's not that they want you to exercise your right to vote. They want you to exercise your right to vote how they want you to vote. That's really truly what it is. It's not about going to actually just vote so your voice can be heard. It's about going to vote for them because they want certain things passed. They want an agenda that they are trying to push and indoctrinate the people on. That's why they spend money on ads like "Get Your Booty to the Polls," because they think black men just think with their penises. And you got you know, I saw people that were applauding that commercial, thinking that it was a good idea. I have people I'm seeing who were registered early to vote that are going out voting. Voting has never been the solution because early voting started in some states. I see videos, people waiting in long lines. Voting is not the solution to black salvation. Never has been. If it was about vote or die, then what happened to all the black people that couldn't vote before the passage of the 15th Amendment? Why are we here? Why didn't our great grandparents didn't die because they weren't allowed to vote? Or for that matter, white women, they weren't allowed to vote until the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920. Black people.
That's right.
So it's not voting ain't solved shit for us. Never has and never will. It's like even George Carlin, who was the great comedian, white guy.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't vote. You know why he said it? He says it's garbage
Right.
in, garbage out. I don't vote and I don't get caught up in politics because the public sucks. The public sucks. Now, if you're going to vote, I'm not saying you shouldn't vote. You should vote locally and participate in your local elections. You're more impacted by who your district attorney is than who the attorney general of the United States is. You're more impacted by local ordinances, your mayors, your city council persons, if they give a damn. And you should at least register to vote so that you can serve on a jury. I tell black people all the time, especially as a lawyer, I tell them don't avoid jury duty. Because when you serve on a jury, you can be that deciding vote that can make a difference. You know, when we want to set a legal precedent, going by the evidence, if you have a cop, and rarely do they have him, but if you have a cop that gets prosecuted for shooting a black person, you would want some black people on that jury. And prosecutors do their best and damnness in some cases to keep black folks off juries.
Oh,
but I don't get caught up in this, this vote or die.
Well, that's BS. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something, Attorney Gavin, because last night I had a friend over here, but I've been sleeping a lot the last couple of days. But
right.
But I had a friend over here, and he was watching the game. He left the game on and left, right? So I just had the game on, but I was just online and reading stuff. So last night I looked up, and I said, "Wow!" I looked at the TV. I said, "Why they got that up there?" They had National coming out. One of the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks game was on, and some guy had the rainbow hat on or whatever. But then it came Russell Wilson, the NFL players the NFL players engaged in voter education, and a lot of them had engaged in voter education. I said, well, you left the TV on. I'm cutting this shit right off. I don't need NBA players and NFL players lecturing me on how to vote because I know you ain't telling me nothing to do with vote for Biden's jackass. So I don't even want to hear that shit. So I cut that shit right off because I don't even want to hear you. I don't even want to hear LeBron say vote or die.
I got flyers from LeBron talking about voter education. I said I got flyers sent in my mail from LeBron James about voting. I got phone calls from Doc Rivers. I heard Doc Rivers talking about getting people out to vote and so forth. He did a hotline with that. Yeah, they send voice messages to people's phones
Well,
about voting and voter education. And I'm like, Doc, you need to worry about not blowing a 3-1 lead.
well, let me say
Doc
something.
got fired.
Okay. That's right. He got fired. Yeah, you're right.
He got fired for for blowing that lead, the Clippers against the Nuggets. So I stopped listening to celebrities and what opinions that they have. Most of the male celebrities, I'm not going to say they're not entitled to their opinion, but they're no Muhammad Ali either. Ali put it all on the line. Jim Brown put it all on the line. Those are the athletes that I'd be willing to talk with. Even Hodges, the one that was Michael Jordan's teammate that refused to go to the White
Michael Jordan did him
House.
dirty. Did him dirty. Jordan did him dirty.
Yeah. I've heard Michael Jordan is a jerk. So that's been Craig Hodges.
Yeah, he went to Hawaii.
Yeah, Craig Hodges. That was him.
He went to Hawaii with the Shiki, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. He went to he went to the White House with the and a dashiki, and he handed a note to the president about their treatment of his discontent of their treatment of minorities, of black people. And he criticized Michael Jordan for not using his fame to draw attention to social and political issues. And he filed a lawsuit against the NBA because he said they blackballed him because he was associated with Minister Farrakhan. So
that's right. That's what happened. As a matter of fact, they did the same thing that Mahmoud Abdul, even though they kind of weeded him out. He still played, but they kept on bouncing around and stuff. That was the one that played for LSU. You know Chris Jackson. So you know Chris Jackson. He played for LSU. He played in your state.
Well, I was real young when he came.
Yeah, okay.
Because that would have to have been in the 90s when Shaq was there. Yeah, that's when Shaq was with LSU.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
No, I'm just saying he played for the Denver Nuggets, and that's the same kind of thing happened to him because he wouldn't stand for the play. You know what I mean? That's all I'm just saying.
Chris Jackson was. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Chris Jackson played. He was back in the 80s. Yeah, I was a baby when that happened. I was a baby, so.
I understand. Yeah, I just bring it up to you.
That was in the 80s when he was with LSU, and well, that's similar to that. Yeah, he played for the Nuggets for some time. Yeah, but I remember when Shaq did a movie called Blue Chips in the early 90s. Okay. I remember going to see that.
Okay. Now let me bring this to you because I want to bring up some things about your state because always, like I said, for some reason, I don't know, man. I always studied New Orleans. I always studied Katrina. I studied how Cynthia McKinney fought, and she brought up how the treatment of people in New Orleans. I mean, as I told you last week when I was on your show, down here in Virginia, our quarterback. Well, not our quarterback. Well, yeah, he did play for UVA, but he played for the Saints. Aaron Brooks was the all-time leading passer of the New Orleans Saints until Drew Brees broke all his records, and he's still playing today. But Drew Brees said that Aaron Brooks said that the Saints didn't just get rid of him because they got rid of him because of what he criticized the city of what they did during Katrina, and they couldn't play in New Orleans and the treatment of people in New Orleans. That's why Aaron Brooks said he got blackballed. And then, as a matter of fact, Aaron Brooks, me and him met on 4 occasions. We actually used to play ball together at the gym, and now he's building houses in Newport News. So Aaron Brooks has been on the radar for a while, but Aaron Brooks can't be no more than 45 years old if he's even that. But he played for the Saints, and I talked to him quite a few times about it. But he played basketball a couple times. But I know when you read the story of Aaron Brooks tell you that he had to go to the black hole, and there was no reason he shouldn't have been signed in 2008 when Dante Culpepper and all those quarterbacks being signed. He said it was because the Katrina situation. That's how that was reported.
Well, I know some stuff about that. I don't know about exactly what he said about the Katrina situation. I don't remember his comments being publicized a great deal. But I do know
It
that
wasn't public
they run
but
a.
you can read about it.
Okay,
You might
well, I don't know anything about it, but I know that he. Well, here's the thing: Aaron Brooks was signed. He was re-signed to a deal back in 2002. That it was about 6 years, and I think they paid him about $40 million, if I'm not mistaken. I remember when Aaron Brooks came in because he was filling in for Jeff Blake, who got injured back in 2000. Jeff Blake
Yep.
was right, but Brooks won the first playoff game for the Saints, and that's
That's right.
why Jim Haslett, who was the coach of the Saints, kept him on. But during Katrina, the Superdome, of course, was damaged, so they couldn't play in New Orleans. They had to play in LSU at LSU Stadium. So they were actually splitting Tiger Stadium as their home field uh, instead of the Superdome. In fact, when we actually were supposed to have a home game in against the New York Giants, they ended up making a home game for the New York Giants in New York, and they did a whole fundraiser for New Orleans and Red Cross relief. But the truth of the matter is, there's been a lot of conspiracy with all of that money because it has not been accounted for. Money that was allocated to go to the lower ninth ward in New Orleans East. I know that some of it actually went up downtown to the Superdome. There was money that was actually allocated to the lower ninth ward that went there. So I'm don't know exactly. That was a little bit after Aaron Brooks left. I remember he left the Saint, or they didn't choose to bring him back in 2005, and he ended up going to Oakland for the '06 season. That's
Yep.
when we had Drew Brees. See,
Yep.
Brees came in 2006. Brees has been with the team for 14 years. And
Okay.
honestly, he's
That's right.
I'm not gonna say he can't. I'm not gonna say he can't play, but I mean he's getting older too, and he's actually playing tonight against his former team. So that ought to be interesting.
Oh, okay. Now, speaking of that, because I'm gonna stay on this for a quick second because, as I told you last week when I was talking to you, that Hurricane Katrina, while it was a natural disaster, it also was a land grab too. It was they planned it as a land grab as well. That's why I was talking about Ray Nagin when I was talking about Ray Nagin and stuff. That was a land grab,
Right,
gentrification, whatever you want to call it. So, as a
right.
matter of fact, they had another hurricane in New Orleans probably in 1972. Was it Hurricane Betsy maybe or something like that? I can't remember the
Hurricane
name.
Betsy was in 1965.
Okay, 65. So I had my years wrong, but yeah, that was.
Yeah,
But they also had um another thing in 19 was it 19 it was 1972 or 70 when they had when the Black Panthers when the projects in New Orleans and the FBI came and stuffed them out.
that's
That you
1970.
can that's 1970. Okay,
Yeah,
what
that
I
was in
have this mixed up, but
1970.
yeah, what is it the DV Devi project? You got Devi, you got Magnolia project, you got so many
Desire.
projects.
We had
Zaya, that's it.
Desire
Zaya.
Project. Right. Well, what
Yeah,
happened with? Yeah. Well, they just
yeah.
did a documentary on WWL about that because Mitch Landrieu's father, Moon Landrieu, was the mayor of New Orleans at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now let me ask
no,
you a
I'm
question.
just looking at your comments and I see whoever Donald Duck Washington says. I see he's a Stonehawk, Louisiana, talking about our team. Ain't your damn team. You don't on the team. These people. I don't even know what the hell he's saying.
Well, I was gonna say something about these
I see
something else
he's a
about
Stonehawk, Louisiana, talk.
I don't I mean like you say it's the
I haven't even
football team,
talked about a damn team.
but it's the football
I don't know
team.
what the hell he's saying.
I'm not trying to make it about the football conversation. I'm just bringing up
No, no, no,
Aaron
no.
Brooks.
I'm not. I just was look. I just saw it. Yeah, but what you were about? You were asking me about the. We were talking about the Black Panthers and what happened. Yeah, they just did a documentary on WWL about that incident with Moon
Yeah,
Landrew and the Black Panthers and what happened. There was a standoff. Yeah, Yeah, there was a standoff with regards to that. Yeah.
Well, I want to bring up one more thing though. Yesterday, because I was sitting around and somebody just called me and said Dak Prescott got hurt. I said, "What?" And they told me just take a look, and he was getting on a cart or whatever, right? I was just reading and just laying there. As a matter of fact, I was reading the book Brother Ron gave me when he was in when I was in Memphis. Matter of fact, he's a great artist and painter. I mean, I had a great time with him. He's a great man. Yeah, I was reading his book, and I just happened to somebody said about Dak Prescott. So I said, "What's happening?" So I looked at it, and I saw Dak Prescott got hurt. But I didn't think about him getting hurt though. I thought about it was a book, or was it I think it was a show I watched on ESPN one time. They called The $40 Million Slave. As a matter of fact, Armstrong Williams of all people, right? I think was on this show. But the $40 Million Slave, talking about these athletes, how they don't say nothing, but they get all this money, right? But they paid, right? And I look at Dak Prescott, how he got hurt, and I saw Jerry Jones crying. Jerry Jones, give me a break, cracker. You didn't even pay the man the contract. Now you crying and saying he's my quarterback. Well, why didn't you pay him the money then? You didn't pay him, so that's your fault. No, don't cry and give me crocodile tears. That's bullshit, man. Dak Prescott was your. I'm just gonna be dead on with you, Gavin. To me, Dak Prescott was your token nigga. Dak Prescott did everything you wanted him to do. When you said don't stand for the, you gonna stand for the flag. Dak Prescott said stand for the flag, and Ezekiel Elliott too, by the way. But Dak Prescott was I would call Jerry Jones' pet Negro, and he did him wrong 3 times.
Well, Dak Prescott, I remember when he got criticized over the flag national anthem comments. But I don't want to just double back on the thing what you said with Katrina. Yeah, that whole thing was a land grab. I wrote the book, Katrina, Eyes Have Not Seen, Ears Have Not Heard, where I talked about that. And I spoke with several people, including Dick Gregory. This was all an attempt to get a land, to get that land. And they're still trying in some ways. That's why they have not really redeveloped these areas that have been hardest hit, like the Lower Ninth Ward and New Orleans East. There's still blighted homes and houses. There's been no economic development in over 15 years. And I talked about that in my 15th anniversary podcast on Katrina on my YouTube channel. But with Dak Prescott, what I would say too with Dak is that he actually was having a very good year. And I remember there was an issue about how much money he was trying to get with his contract. If I'm not mistaken, they were going to offer him like $100 million, which was going to make him one of the wealthiest quarterbacks in the league. Of course, Patrick Mahomes has that because he has like a lifetime contract with the Kansas City Chiefs that he's damn near going to be making like $500 million or something along those lines. He'll never have to worry about anyone doing a fundraiser for him, but he's going to be there for a long time. He's one of the wealthiest men in the NFL. But, these owners is very interesting when you look at them. These owners are multi-billionaires. They're not doing anything but hiring the talent, the managers, the general managers, and they're going in and picking who the stars of the teams are. And all they're doing
That's right.
is signing those contracts. Most of them actually, when Donald Trump ran for president, you had a lot of them that were supporting him. The Jerry Jones, of course, was the biggest supporter. Robert Kraft. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, you had the guy, the Khan, who just bought it. His name is Khan. Amir Khan. Yeah. He actually, Shakir Khan, excuse me. I think that's his name. Shahid Khan. Yeah, Shahid Khan. He's the richest person of Pakistani descent. And he actually supported Trump, but then he went against Trump because Trump put in that immigration policy, especially against his country. So that was interesting. Yeah, but these guys, they're multi-billionaires, and they're telling athletes, they're talking about their athletes, what they can and can't do. And I look at it like a business thing too. When you go to work for a company,
Well, that's
obviously,
interesting.
if you protested while you on the job, yeah.
That's interesting.
If
You
you
know
protest,
why?
we have a delay. Why?
That's interesting because this is what I say about Donald Trump, and this is why I don't really mind him so much because when you go to a supermarket, right? You go and get goods, products, and services, right? That's what you go for a supermarket for: goods, product, and service, whatever you need to get, right?
Correct.
So that's why I told you what with Trump, I don't mind him so much because the simple fact of that's how businessmen do. That's how they work. I mean, we're looking at when you look at the Democratic Party, they want you to be like what they call a political cheerleader. Oh, vote for me because I got Snoop Dogg and all these people talking about vote for me. Oh yeah, goody goody. But that's nothing. I mean, it's like going to a supermarket and not buying anything. When I guess window shopping or whatever. But I mean, Trump is about business. Just like last week when I told him, he talked about the stimulus bill and he said in negotiations. He's not trying to end negotiations really. All he's doing is trying to use a bargaining ploy to get to do the deal in his favor. That's what you call that's like business one on one. You don't negotiate my terms. I negotiate, and then we come to an agreement. That's why he did that. That was a smart business move by Trump. He had a book called The Art of the Deal. I mean, it's just smart business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you look at it. I look at it as a businessman. I don't. That's why I say if you're looking for him to be a politician, you're looking at the wrong thing. You're looking at a businessman. You got somebody that's kind of
Right.
shrewd.
He treats it. Well, I mean, he's right. Well, he's treating it like a business, and people actually that's why people voted for him. They think he was going to run it just like a business, and these owners, of course, they knew what he was about. Like I said before, I didn't know this, but Judge even said this that Trump was the money man behind Jesse Jackson's run for president,
He
which
was.
was interesting.
He was.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, Gavin, he was also a chairman in the NAACP's board. Now you say what you want of the NAACP because I don't care for the NAACP too much.
He
On that
was.
board.
I mean, Donald Sterling remember, they gave Donald Sterling an award, the Los Angeles branch of the NAACP, and Donald Sterling was the one that made those comments about black players and so forth in the NBA, about how he didn't want his girlfriend around Magic Johnson. So, all of that stuff happened, and everybody thought, but they bought out his contract and banned him. But you know what? He's a billionaire, and he's 80 years old.
That's right.
So what was that going to do? What was that going to accomplish? Yeah, you ban him and so forth, but he's 80. He's going, he's got to get paid his money. So is that really punishment, or are you sending him on a vacation?
He's still alive, by the way.
He's still alive, yeah. I mean, he wasn't a great owner.
No. I mean, but Gavin, all jokes aside, them NBA players knew about Donald Sterling. They just made a big stink about when he said it. They shouldn't even been surprised. Don't act surprised now. You knew about this shit. Look, man, racists don't just pop up through the ashes. They already been there. As a matter of fact, they already there. So exactly what you said about we always had racist presidents. I can't name one that's not. Even Barack Obama. I'm gonna just put it like this. He wasn't ADOS because the Dred Scott decision basically says that you have no right to respect anything of a black man. So he was not a black man. He was a mulatto. Kamala Harris, same thing. You do not have to respect anybody that's black. Matter of fact, she's an Indian / Asian American. She's not even what they would call an African American or a black person, to be honest with you. She would be called a person of color.
Right.
So I just
if you go to
go ahead.
I'm sorry. We have a delay. We have a delay, Brother Bernard. So that's why when I'm speaking, you may come in late and vice versa. So that's what that is.
Okay.
But you go look at her birth certificate. It says Caucasian. Her mother's Indian. Her father's Jamaican. He was a Jamaican immigrant, so he has no ties really to. She has no ties to the African American community other than the fact that she had a black boyfriend or a couple of black boyfriends. Because I saw she dated Montel Williams at one point, and She was also Willie Brown's girlfriend at one point. And
Yep, that's right.
supposedly she slept her way to the top. Now, I'm not even worried, and that doesn't even bother me because men sleep with women all the time, especially in power, and vice versa. What I have an issue with is her record as Attorney General of California, as a district attorney in San Francisco, and her record is not good.
Yep. Uh,
The
look,
fact that she's what you're about to say?
look in your comment section. This guy, Jay Harris from San Antonio, Texas, said he would love to get you on his podcast tonight tomorrow. If you look in the comment section, say the Jerry Harris podcast show. You
Yeah,
can
I
look
see
right in
it.
the comment section and see. Yeah,
And
yeah, but he
yeah, I
wants to.
saw that. Yeah, that's no
Yeah,
problem. Maybe, probably sometime tomorrow might be better. But yeah, give me his contact information if you have it. I take it you've been on this show?
yeah. I was just on it last night.
Yeah, I see that because he favorited my podcast. So I'm happy to come on maybe sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him to say.
But
I
yeah,
matter of
I'll
fact,
talk to him. That's
as
not a
soon as we get
problem.
off here, and he uses Anchor just like you actually. So but
Right.
yeah, but I was gonna say a few more things, but oh yeah, go ahead back what you're saying. I didn't mean to cut
Not
you off.
just
It
for,
just happened.
well, yeah,
He just happened.
I was just looking at, just her record as a attorney general has been awful. I mean, she had those black mothers lined up on truancy issues. If you remember that, when she had them arrested for their children breaking truancy laws, she goes on the Breakfast Club talking about smoking weed while she's listening to Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was in high school at the time. She, uh, you know, she was on a Breakfast Club, and they tried to excuse her, but you could clearly hear they asked her what she was listening to. She said, and Envy asked her, was it, or I think Charlamagne asked her, was it Snoop? And she said, yeah, it was definitely Snoop. But she's up there smoking weed and gloating and laughing about it when she gave them harsh sentences. My understanding too is that black men that she knew were innocent, she let them stay even longer in jail,
That's
in
right.
prison. So we got somebody like that that's going to be the next in line to the presidency, because I honestly think what will happen is that she'll become, if Biden wins, Biden is not going to be president for a long time. And that's not saying I wish any harm on him, but I just can see a health issue, being that he's at that age, you're more vulnerable to those types of things. That may happen to him, and she would become president, and Nancy Pelosi could be vice president. They want a female in the White House, and that's what they're
Yep.
pushing for. That's why they are ignoring the black community, and they're supporting all these other immigrants. Do you know by 2065, these other groups, excuse me, not immigrants, but but they are supporting immigrants. By 2065, it's predicted that Asians will be the largest immigrant group, largest minority in the country.
Yep. Yep. I know about it.
Hispanics are going to be number one. Then it will be Asians, then whites, then blacks.
Well,
We're being pushed into a permanent underclass, and we are not getting anything out of it. And it's really at a point where it's too little, too late, because we didn't ask the first black president to do anything. When we did, we got these Negro leaders and these puppet heads that would get out there and tell you, if you don't
I'll
talk
shout.
about my president, he's a
I'll shout.
joke. Where
Well, look.
is nigga gonna lead you to a salon?
Look, let me tell you something else, brother. What's the guy? Look, you even had what's his name? Look, like I said, I tell people Ice Cube said some good things, but I don't want to hear from Ice Cube. I want to hear from Dr. Clyde Anderson. Give me somebody reputable, not an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you had Dr. Clyde Anderson, who was in politics all his life, right there. I mean, and they didn't even let Dr. Clyde Anderson meet with Obama. So what does that tell you?
Right. Well, I mean, you had, he had Rick Ross and Nicki Minaj at the White House talking about prison reform. You saw Joe Biden being interviewed by Cardi B. That doesn't surprise me. That's the way they treat this whole thing. They treat it as an entertainment show, and we treat it as an entertainment because you saw people even for BET, when Barack Obama was leaving office, they threw a special for him with Samuel L. Jackson and all of these other entertainers doing a tribute to it. And I'm like, a tribute for what?
Yeah, he got a Nobel Peace Prize too, and he blew up.
What's the tribute for this guy? And we talk about, and as far as war is started, I mean, look, Barack Obama dropped more drones. He's known as the drone president. He actually authorized more drone killings than any other president, even in George Bush.
That's right.
Yeah, I get the fact that we can be excited and make history, but if you try to hold him accountable, you try to get stuff out of him, you couldn't do that.
As a matter of fact, he even said he wouldn't do it. He actually said he wouldn't do it. As a matter of fact, remember when the Black Caucus said something to him? He said, "Stop grumbling and complaining."
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when he went to Clark Atlanta University and gave a commencement speech and told those black men to pull up by their bootstraps.
Yeah.
That's not a lie, Isaac. What's the lie? The quotes are out there. I'm looking at the comment. He said that's a lie. It's not a lie.
I'm gonna just say it's all online.
He's documented saying that.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw the guy. I've seen people say they make up stuff like that. That reminds me when I go in court and I see these parents make up every excuse for their kids when they shoot somebody in the head over a fucking drug deal. They make up every damn excuse. Oh, my baby didn't do this. My baby did that. Your baby's a murderer. No.
Correct.
Go look at the statistics, man. I didn't say you say every president has been dropping bombs more and more since Clinton. I said he's dropped more bombs than George W. Bush. He was called the drone president. That's online. You could go look it up. I don't have to lie to you. Go look it up. Do research.
As a matter of fact, it's on what is the thing called? It was part of the AFRICOM policy, Africa.
Right. They had the statistics there. If you go to the Black Agenda report,
yep.
Glenn Ford, he talked about it some years back. Y'all can go look it up.
Yeah.
The information is there. It ain't a damn lie. You just don't want to look up. You just don't want to look at it. It's not a lie.
You know one more thing, Gavin. You know something else I'm gonna bring up since we brought this up. You know they always talk about Trump and immigration, right? But yeah. Obama deported more immigrants than any president in U.S. history. He deported 3 million immigrants during his 8 years in office. So he did a lot. I mean, I think in 2010, the immigrants even were at the White House.
Yeah. Why don't you show me your? Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you talking about this guy in the chat?
I'm not gonna bother talking to him because I looked at the facts myself and can show you where the statistics are. So I'm not going to even go back and forth with him.
There's no need. I mean, look, but in all honesty,
that's okay. I see where he's going, but no.
Brother Isaac, it's more than just bombs.
I said, did I say bombs or did I say drones?
When you say drones.
Thank you. Thank you.
Drones. That's right, drones.
Okay.
Now, I ain't keep on getting into it, but I just wanted to say that also another thing that happened, and I was sending this information to Bishop Scott yesterday about when he wrote those bailout, well, not even bailout. Bush passed the bailout. Obama did the economic incentive. That was just a runaway for Goldman Sachs and the bankers and all that. Timothy Geithner, was the Secretary of the Treasury at the time, actually gave that bailout, and all those CEOs basically paid off and had a free get out of jail card for all the hell they caused, especially on Black America. And I've been in Chicago, in Indiana, and seen boarded up houses for blocks with 2 houses, people living in there, and some of the people living in boarded up houses. So I know what happened with that subprime mortgage crisis.
Yeah, well, I sent something in your private chat that you could put in your comments, but that's the article about Obama. The Bureau investigates about Obama's covert drone war and numbers 10 times more strikes than Bush. So that's what I was talking about. But yeah, I mean, look, they all had opportunities. He had opportunities to help out,
Okay.
these communities. And when you talk about the mortgage companies, Kamala Harris says AG, she had a chance to actually prosecute One West Bank for their predatory loans that they did on black and brown people, and she didn't do it. And basically, this, I think more and more people are really. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump won in a landslide, because I think people are really just out of protest. They are dissatisfied with the way that politics has gone in the United States in the last 40 to 50 years. Just the direction that we've gone as a country. We keep going down further and further into the hole.
You're right. And as I always tell people, really, when Donald Trump was elected, you got the first independent candidate in history, because Trump has populist appeal, and so does Bernie Sanders. These are not Republicans or Democrats. These are populist people.
Well, Trump only ran as I see Brother Ron heard this day. He said it was Morehouse. Yeah, excuse me. Well, thank you, Brother Ron. Yeah, Morehouse College. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, Morehouse College. I said Clark, but Clark was Clark, Atlanta, and Morehouse. They're right next to each other. But yeah, I remember that was in 2013. But yeah, but what I was saying, what you were saying again, brother? I forgot. What was your question?
Oh, no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I kind of lost mine too, because I was texting Brian back. But I'm just saying that, brother, when it comes to this, and I really want to take I want to take some about Brian's comment. Talk is cheap when it comes to black liberation, right? You see this comment, right?
I see it.
That's exactly right. And as a matter of fact, Barack Obama also was at Morehouse. No, I think it was Morehouse or Clark Atlanta University. He told them brothers, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know the old tide charade. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and basically stop complaining.
That was at Morehouse.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean,
right. And yeah, that was at Morehouse.
Well,
right. Trump was actually. Yeah, Trump is actually he was actually an independent, and for a time he was Democrat back from 2001 to 2009, and he was actually a Reform Party member back in the late 90s, early 2000s for about 3 years. He only ran as a Republican because that's the only way he could have secured the nomination. He wasn't going to get it running for a Democrat, especially if the Clintons are running or so forth. So he knew that he could get it this way. But he we got he's truly really an independent.
That's right.
He's really an independent.
And you're gonna get more and more.
But I mean, like what Judge Joe Brown told. Right.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna say something.
What I was saying was Judge Joe Brown was talking about. I was saying how Judge Joe Brown told Brother Ron about that incident with regards to when Trump just got in office and just started working on his plan. Like he didn't wait for Congress to do anything. But remember, Barack Obama had 2 years with the Democratic Congress if he wanted to do some stuff.
That's right. Trump actually did get to work very early, and as a matter of fact, Trump did a lot of money to HBCUs, where Obama took money away from HBCUs in his first term. That's fact. I mean, he took the money away, $85 million. Bush had earmarked it, and Obama took it away in his first term. As a matter of fact, I had friends that the HBCUs were closing. We had a HBCU down here in Virginia that closed called St. Paul's College. We had one NFL player I know called Greg Toller. He had dreadlocks. He played for the Cardinals for a little bit. but they closed during Obama's administration. We had a lot of HBCUs were closed, and then the Pell Grants wouldn't even let you back in the HBCU. As a matter of fact, Obama actually was trying to diversify the HBCUs too, because I mean, you come to down here, you came down to Virginia, brother Gavin or attorney Gavin. You'll see we got HBCUs now with that are melting pots. I mean, you got more whites going to the HBCUs. I mean, shoot, homecoming, you might see white people there more. So, it is what it is. I mean, so they're trying to diversify the HBCUs and make them elevator to everybody, but it's our fault because black leadership doesn't say no. We want our HBCUs to be for us. Look, you cannot be coming here on these minority scholarship programs. I know a girl that did it, and she used to come play basketball with a white girl. She played for Fresno State. She came back here to Virginia, and she went and got a scholarship on a minority scholarship program. And the worst part is a black girl what got her to recruit her to play for Virginia Union University.
Well, the HBCUs are actually, like when I was up at Southern, the HBCUs actually have more whites going to them because they're more cost affordable. Even like when I was up at Southern Law Center, they have about a 45% ratio of whites to blacks. Blacks make up the majority by I would say 51%. Whites are about 45%, and the other 5% there that they have, or 4% rather, was about Hispanic and Asian or other. So we tend to get a lot of people that come over there because it's more cost affordable. They look at the price that they're going to pay. You're going to pay more, and you're going to be paying more money. For instance, if you go to LSU, than you are going to Southern Law Center. That's why a lot of whites apply to Southern Law Center. And plus their stats are not their stats, but rather their criteria for allowing attorneys or people that want to get a law degree is a little bit different as well. You have some schools that require you to have a LSAT rating of 150 or higher, or 170, or higher, something like that. Southern didn't have that. They looked at the overall thing. And other schools look at the overall picture too, but they look at those schools that I have found and apply for, like at Loyola or Tulane, their standards were like 160 or higher. And Southern was looking at, well, you can have a 145 LSAT, but we also look at your GPA. So you may have let's say you may do 148 on an LSAT. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'll go ahead. I was just about to say something about that.
That's the law school entrance exam. LSAT is the law school entrance exam. So you may have a 148 that you'll do in, but your GPA may be a 3.4 or 3.0. Well, we'll consider that and we'll let you come in because obviously you're a great student and so forth. So that's why a lot of white folks, they go into there. It's more cost affordable. That's what they look at. They look at saving money.
Okay, well, let me say this to you, Gavin. This brother, Jay Harris. I mean, he's got a good podcast. Also, I'm glad the great brother Denmark, I call him Denmark BC, brother Ron came in the chat. So,
I see Ron is yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I see Ron is in the comments. What's up, bro? I've reached out to him. Y'all met up for.
Yeah, we did.
The first time, huh?
Yeah, we did. And as a matter of fact, I got a goal. Yeah. I'm trying to push this goal to meet every content creator that I've been on with. I mean, or meet with people and try to come out of the city just to see how this city is like. So I'm trying to explore and see what people like I said, you got. When I was working corrections, I had a thing, and you had guys called the 5%ers. I'm sure you heard of the 5% Nation. There's a truth to it that 85% of the people are dumb and blind, 10% know the truth, and the other 5% are trying to awaken the 85. Now, I would say this. Everybody ain't gonna make it, but if I can connect to you, people that got that third eye, because like they say, hey, once you get the third eye, or as Dick Gregory said, you put the magic glasses on, you can't take them off. So, hey, it is what it is. So I'm glad that you got a third eye to see a lot of things too. And Brother Ron and so many others have third eye to see things that others just don't see. So that's always a good to find out that you got people that know, because I mean, like I used to tell my brother in 2013 when he started putting me on to a lot of stuff in the garage and stuff. I told him, man, you know, I told him I'm gonna lose more friends, but I'm gonna gain more than I ever had. So I don't care if you didn't deal with me then. Don't try to. I mean,
Yeah.
you can deal with me now and say that you was wrong, but I mean, hey, it's like this. Um, truth has no face but truth, and you got to use the truth to smash the lie. So when I look at it and I look at things that people that didn't want to deal with me or
Yeah.
contest, I always look at it and say, hey, look, as long as you peddling it out, you'll get some more friends, because if you stop dealing with me because I tell you I don't like Joe Biden, you ain't a friend of mine no way. You just was a phony the whole time. And that's my
Right. Well,
so
if you're gonna meet people, like I've had people, I'll just say this in closing. If they didn't like you from the beginning and they weren't your true friends, part of being friends, like I saw Boyce Watkins
mhm.
talked about how he actually lost friends over this whole Trump versus Biden thing, because he had friends who are pro Joe Biden, and he had made it clear that he's not interested in voting for Joe Biden. He didn't say he liked Trump, but he feels the same way that a lot of Black Americans feel. They're just not feeling Joe Biden over his politics and what he has done for the Black community. So I've lost people and friends because of that, because I criticized Kamala Harris. And you know what? And if they have a problem with it, that's their tough shit.
Tell them kiss your ass, right? But let me say how I connected to you. I just want to
Kiss
break
the
up.
dog part of my ass.
Well, let me give you one thing how I
I need a
connected to a lot of
flashlight
you.
for it.
Well, I do want you to shout out your contact information so people that watch this could hear you.
Well, wait, you were about to say how we met. How you
Oh, yeah. Let me say that too. Well, actually, how I met actually all of y'all for the most part. Actually, so I was a big follower of what's his guy name, Dr. Umar Johnson, right? And I used to like a lot of things he was saying, and he used to. So one time I just happened to look at him, and he came on this show called the Denise Jones Show. So I said, and she left a call, and then was I called actually trying to talk to Umar Johnson, but she didn't open the lines for him. But ended up talking to Judge, and then they had that started like Dr. Short, and then Judge used to be always on Brother Ron's program, since he brought Judge back to life on a lot of his podcasts. So and then I said, so then I had went to DC and I met
yeah.
Dr. Ford, and then I went to Chicago and met a guy named Paul, met Fred Hampton Jr. and then I said, okay, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go meet well, I was at the plan was actually go to Arkansas, but that plan got scuttled, so I just went to Memphis and met Brother Ron and him. We actually ate lunch at a black soul food restaurant. But like I said, it's great meeting you, and indirectly, Dr. Umar Johnson, by being on that Val Denise Jones program, actually connected me to all y'all. So I just want to, a lot of people got problem with Umar, but I shout him out just for trying to connect with him. I ended up connecting to all of you. So thank you,
Well,
because I
good.
thought I was out here fighting. I always used to tell my brother that I always thought that I was out here fighting this battle. You tell people say I don't want to hear it. It's all conspiracy. And I used to tell my brother, man, my mother died in 2018, April 4th, 2018, which is coincidentally the same day Martin Luther King died.
Right.
I told my brother, man, talking to these people is so hard to try to convince people this stuff. You almost put yourself in a stressed out thing, just trying to get people to just read what you're saying. I ain't even talking about talking to you. I'm just talking about reading. So actually, I want to thank you, and I want to thank you, Dr. Short, Brother Ron, Judge Brown. I already had my other
Valerie.
friend, Valerie, Bishop Scott, and I have
Yeah.
all my friends in Richmond that do deal with me. I still got people that deal with me. They'll deal with me on certain occasions. Maybe not this stuff they deal with others, but I do want to thank them for all of you for getting some of that stress off my back, because it is stressful when you try to tell people things and they don't listen to you,
Right.
even though you know you done did your research on this stuff. And I've been researching this stuff for the last 7 years. I tell you, this is Revelations time. People say that's just conspiracy. This is a Bible verse, but it is what it is. So I do thank all of you for everything you do. Thanks for sending me information. And I love sending the information back because now I do have a chain link of people I can connect with and actually able to
Right. Well, let me first and foremost. Is this time for me to do my little closing and right quick?
yeah, do whatever you want, man.
Okay.
We had a good
Okay.
conversation.
Well, we did. I thought you wanted me to do. Yeah. I'll just plug in my information. First off, let me thank you for having me on, Brother Bernard. You came onto my platform actually last week during the vice presidential debate. So I was grateful that you were able to come on and link up with me.
Mhm.
And shout out to the other content creators. Brother Ron heard from We All Be News. Brother Ron was the first time I met Ron. Actually, we had been talking on the phone beforehand, and of course, he's come on my platform. I've been on his before when I was promoting my book. He's a good brother. It's actually the first time I met him was back at the FBA conference this past September that Tariq Nasheed sponsored. In Atlanta. Is the first time I met him and Judge Joe
Okay.
Brown in person. So that was a great reason why I got a chance to meet them, and I'm glad that I did go for that reason and connect with a lot of good brothers. We actually ended up hanging out at this restaurant, black-owned restaurant right outside the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This black restaurant that was selling some soul food late at night, which was, oh gosh, it was good. It was decent. Pretty nice place. I love the place. Yeah, I love the, and we got to socialize and meet people. That was the real reason why I was going and, making connections. And that's what you
Well,
do. Valerie Denise Jones, I'll shout out to her, Judge Joe Brown. You're about to say something?
oh, I was just saying, I wish that I was off that weekend. I would have came out to Atlanta with you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. But shout out to Valerie Denise Jones and Judge Joe Brown, Bishop Scott, Tariq Nasheed, the Fly Nubian Queen. I met the Queen Shakur. I met her. Shout out to that sister and all the others, Jade and so forth. You guys can hit me up. Gavin Reshaw Presents is the podcast on Anchor. It's also available on Spotify. I also have a YouTube channel, Gbu2786, and my self-entitled channel, Gavin Reshaw. I do live stream. Then December, they're going to be live streaming the Bill Cosby appeal. So I'm actually thinking of live streaming that on my channel, which is something you guys should watch because that whole case was, you're up there in Virginia. I don't know how far that is from Pennsylvania, Brother
6
Bernard.
hours, 5 hours, something like that. 6 hours.
About 5 hours. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people should pay attention to this because Bill Cosby got really screwed out of that whole trial. But I ask people to be alert. I can just give you the information like Gregory said. Pray that the truth comes out. He said the truth doesn't need to be validated by ignorance. When you deal with people that get upset with you because you give them information they don't like hearing, well, the truth is the truth at the end of the day. I had people that were upset at me when I was defending, I wasn't even defending R. Kelly. I wasn't defending R. Kelly at all, what he was accused of. But I had fellow attorneys that unfriended me because I was saying the basic things that they took an oath to swear to, which is that he's innocent until proven guilty, until the proof is proven beyond a reasonable doubt in court. He's entitled to due process. We try to stay away from lynch mobs. And, unfortunately, in this time and age, because news moves at the speed of light right now with social media and Facebook and Twitter, they don't take that stuff back. And you'll get situations like you can end up getting false convictions. And that has happened to us. And we have to be very careful with that. As far as this election is concerned, if I do urge you, I'm not going to tell you not to vote. I certainly believe that you should pay attention to your local politicians, who your city council person is. And if you are going to vote in the presidential election, to vote smart. Don't do it
Gavin,
because you don't want to be labeled as, yeah.
with Gavin, I gotta make a run out. Somebody just called me to come pick him up. So I'm
Okay.
glad that we were able to have this opportunity. But thank you for coming on, and be blessed and be strong in New Orleans. And shout out to the people affected by the hurricane and everything else. So I want you to stay. God bless you, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I just was gonna say, be smart about everything for everybody listening. And thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
having me come on again, brother.
You too, brother.
Thank you. All right, y'all take care. Be blessed, everyone.